Alright, now we'll talk about how my divination starts and why, when you're a targeted individual, I suppose, to be more specific, with STPD, why this is something you need to contemplate on. First of all, your idea of what the Almighty needs to be legit. I couldn't stay in the churches that we have nowadays, but you need to actually have a grasp of what the Almighty is before you can start to think about what divination is, the way you're supposed to see it. Now, as a targeted individual with STPD, I clearly, if you look at the symptoms, do not have the ability to see into other people's minds. But when I see signs that lead me to suggest that the theory that they can see into my mind is plausible, then obviously I get worried on a spiritual level. So as guidance, we have the Bible, which will tell you that you mustn't allow yourself to be a medium of any kind to anyone of any kind. So it's like instructing you like a security guard. Be a security guard and police your mind to make sure that no one is trying to lead you into anything. No one's trying to lead you in there, because as soon as you're led by any familiar spirit, be it friend, family or stranger, then you become their medium, someone who brings about their will. So you police your mind, and the way of policing your mind, I'll cover it gradually as we go on in time, is to actually do things in your mind, because the things you do in your mind cannot be considered to be acts. Those are thoughts. Thoughts cannot be acts. If thoughts start to be treated like acts, then you need to consider divinating. By the time you figure out that you need to be divinating, you would have been divinating. Because if you have the kind of intelligence that I have, anybody who comes into your mind, if you look at it, I'm slightly above the average in terms of intelligence. So most likely to find that the people who come into my mind have less intelligence than me. So when this happens, when someone comes into your mind, they're divinating. So my divination, the way I divinate, cannot start until somebody divinates, which means it cannot stop until everybody stops divinating. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how it is as if you're working for the Lord? Because the only way I can divinate is when somebody comes into my mind and is dumber than me. Because as soon as you come into my mind, well, you come into my mind to run the show, but because you're stupid, I'm running the show, which means I'm running your mind from within my mind, which means I'm in my mind and I'm in yours. So I start to divinate because you're stupid and you're in my mind. But I don't have the power to see into your mind. So as soon as you stop seeing into my mind, I don't have the power to divinate. That power only comes about when you start to divinate, those who see into our minds. Once you start doing that and you're stupid, I have to control the show, because I can't allow myself to be led. Remember, it's in Leviticus somewhere. Do not allow yourselves to become mediums to familiar spirits. The penalty for that is death. So you have to do everything in your power, including killing off demons or spirits that come into your head, to make sure no one leads you in your head. Your mind is the only one supposed to lead you in there. So if you come into my mind and you're stupid enough, if I think leading you will prevent you from leading me, from becoming your medium, I do that. But when I do that, that's divination. So my divination only starts when people start to divinate, and it only ends when they stop. So I can't stop divinating until you stop. But when are you going to stop? I have a natural stopping mechanism. As soon as I stop seeing there, I don't have the ability to see there, I automatically stop. What's your natural stopping mechanism? If you're somebody who chooses to see into other people's minds, what is your natural stopping mechanism? When will you stop? What needs to happen to stop? Is there an automatic way you can stop, just in case you get addicted to it, and you can't stop? With me, it's so easy. As soon as they stop seeing there, I can't affect their minds. My divination stops. So this is why when you're targeted by people who are not as clever as you, yeah, you effectively have to divinate, but you divinate for the Lord. So what does that mean? What do I become? Yeah, I'm divinating, yeah, because people are divinating, and I won't stop until they stop. But then once they're stopped, I'll naturally stop, and the Almighty's will be what runs everybody. You see, as long as there's people who are divinating, I can't stop divinating, because there's going to be someone dumb enough to step into my mind, and I'll be divinating to control that one. Yeah, so just wanted you to think about that logically, that when I'm accused of divination, yeah, it's because others are doing it. Somebody can come and report something to you, scrutinize it. If they're reporting a thought rather than an act, then they were the ones who are divinating. And my divinating came about, yeah, because they were divinating. What I mean by that is that recently I got reported by some of the people that see into my mind, yeah. People see into my mind and start to, you know, when you talk to each other but you're not talking to each other. Let's say you had an argument with your woman and you start to say, people have friends, yeah, but you're not looking at your partner, and then she's looking the other way and she says, but we don't always fuck our friends. But you know you're talking to each other, but you're not talking to each other, right? So they started to do that when they're making reference to what's in my mind, which is proof to me that they're there in my mind. So I got very, very cerebral and dark, because like I'm very dark, you know. I'm into dark things, man. You know, all my influences, horror films. I'm into very dark concepts. So when I notice that somebody's using a power to see into my mind, and then they have the audacity to talk about it, I started being very cerebral, and the things I said in my head were really, really dark. And some of these things I started to say out loud, but without talking to anyone. I was just saying them out loud like that, because we're not talking to each other, right? But you're blurting out things about my private life, and I'm fucking up your mind for it, and they're reporting me for it. For fucking up their minds. I'm like, what? When those people who are bullying me report me, I mean, what is that? What's the world come to? But anyway, so that's the concept of divination that I'm talking about. I only start when somebody comes into my mind. So I'm like, what can I do you for? Why are you in there? What do you want to see? Yeah? Okay. And I start playing with you. And then once I'm doing that, that means I'm affecting someone's mind. Someone who's outside of my mind, his mind is being affected by me. The only reason that's happening is because it's inside me. Yeah, so when he stops being inside me, I don't have nothing to do. I'm like a genie in a bottle. I sit there quietly until somebody starts divinating. That's when I start, right? I'm not saying I'm a gene, but I'm just saying I divinate for the Lord. So does that make me an angel? All right, I'd like you to think about that.